Life is always full of challenges, difficulties, and sometimes unavoidable storms. During such times, we may feel confused, lost, and easily swept away by the currents of anxiety and fear. However, amidst these storms, there is a quiet place that each of us can find, the peace within our souls. Buddhism, with its profound and practical teachings, shows us how to maintain our peace, no matter how unstable our surroundings may be. Today, we will share with you 5 simple yet effective steps to help you uphold inner peace even when life is full of challenges and stress. Peace is not something distant or difficult to achieve. It is a state that each of us can attain if we understand and apply the right principles in our daily lives. In this video, we will help you understand each step and how the teachings of the Buddha can assist you in overcoming difficulties, regaining balance, and finding tranquility in your soul. Buddhism teaches that happiness and peace begin from within, and no one can bring you peace except yourself. When facing the challenges and storms of life, these steps will be the tools to help you avoid being swept away by negative emotions and maintain your serenity. You will learn to face life with calmness and ease, without allowing your mind to be disturbed by external events. These 5 steps are not just theoretical, they are practical advice that you can apply immediately in your daily life. They are steps that help you reduce stress, eliminate anxiety, and move towards peace in any circumstance. Moreover, each of these steps will help you gain a deeper understanding of yourself, allowing you to expand your perspective and love and help those around you more fully. Through each step, you will learn to accept, let go, and live fully in the present. These are simple yet extremely effective methods that help you maintain peace in all difficult situations. You will experience true freedom, a lightness in your soul, and the ability to face every challenge without feeling weighed down. Let's explore the 5 steps to maintain inner peace right now, and let the teachings of Buddhism help you become the best version of yourself in every life situation. If you are seeking peace amidst life storms, this video is the key to unlocking happiness and freedom in your soul. Before we begin, if you find this video helpful, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the Life Lessons channel so you won't miss other valuable lessons from Buddhism. This helps us continue to provide meaningful content and support you on your journey to finding peace and happiness. Thank you very much. Step 1. Accepting reality, the path to finding peace according to Buddhism. Life is always filled with challenges, suffering, and uncertainties that we sometimes cannot foresee. We often tend to resist what cannot be changed, always wishing for life to go in a direction we can control. However, the truth is that there are many things in life we cannot manage, and resisting them only adds to our stress and anxiety. In Buddhist teachings, one of the key principles for maintaining inner peace is accepting reality. Acceptance is the path to inner freedom. Acceptance does not mean surrendering or enduring injustice. It is a way for us to understand and confront situations we cannot change. Buddhism teaches that one of the causes of suffering is clinging to things that cannot be changed. When we do not accept reality, we feel frustrated, uncomfortable, or even hopeless, because this resistance creates a cycle of suffering and dissatisfaction. When you learn to accept the truth, you will stop resisting and begin to live in harmony with what happens around you. This is the path to liberation. Acceptance not only helps reduce feelings of stress but also allows you to find wiser solutions in every situation. When you stop fighting against life, you will find that everything becomes much easier. Buddhism asserts that acceptance is the key to mastering the mind and not being swept away by negative emotions. Acceptance does not mean powerlessness. Many people may misunderstand the concept of acceptance. Acceptance does not mean we must be helpless or resign ourselves to adverse circumstances. On the contrary, acceptance helps us harness our inner strength, allowing us to gain clarity and better prepare to face challenges. For example, if you experience a failure at work, accepting that failure is a part of life helps you avoid falling into a state of sadness and negativity. Instead, you can view that failure as an opportunity to learn and improve yourself. Acceptance allows you to embrace failure with a peaceful mindset, without denial or judgment. You will be able to look at the problem objectively, identify its causes, and from there seek solutions. Buddhism teaches that we cannot change the past, but we can change our attitude toward the present and the future. Acceptance helps reduce anxiety and distress. One of the factors that cause anxiety and distress in life is worrying about things that have not yet happened or clinging to the past. We fear what may happen in the future or regret our mistakes in the past. However, Buddhism teaches that these thoughts only add to our suffering. When you do not accept reality and continue to live in anxiety, you will be caught in a whirlpool with no way out. Acceptance helps reduce feelings of worry and pain. When you learn to accept the truth, you will begin to live fully in the present. You will no longer be distracted by thoughts of the past or future and will focus only on what is happening in the moment. Your mind will not be disturbed by negative emotions, instead, you will achieve peace and clarity. When you live fully in the present, you will also experience true freedom, as you are no longer imprisoned by worries or fears. Acceptance helps you live in harmony with life. Accepting reality is a way to live in harmony with life. This does not mean we must accept every bad thing that happens without reacting. Acceptance here is an understanding that everything in life is subject to change and nothing is permanent. Every event, every situation has its reason. When you accept life as it is, you will easily adapt and live harmoniously with every circumstance. Acceptance is the first step to building a healthy mind. When you stop resisting what cannot be changed, you will feel a profound sense of freedom and peace. You will no longer be dominated by feelings of fear, anxiety, or regret. Instead, you will see everything more clearly and make wiser decisions. Acceptance is the liberation from suffering. Finally, Buddhism teaches that when we learn to accept the truth, we will free ourselves from suffering. In reality, suffering does not come from what happens in life but from our resistance and lack of acceptance of life. When you fight against what cannot be changed, you are creating suffering for yourself. Acceptance does not mean giving up or yielding. In fact, acceptance is a form of liberation. When you let go of feelings of frustration, anger, or regret, you will experience relief and freedom. Your mind will no longer be burdened by negative emotions, and you will be able to live more peacefully, even in difficult situations. Accepting the truth is one of the most important steps in the journey toward peace and liberation according to Buddhism. When you learn to accept, you will experience true freedom, no longer caught up in negative emotions and suffering. This is the key to living in harmony with life and maintaining inner peace, even when facing any challenges. Remember that when you accept everything as it is, you not only free yourself from suffering but also open the door to wisdom, happiness, and peace. Step 2. Finding peace within yourself, the path to a pure soul according to Buddhist teachings. In the modern world filled with hustle, stress, and anxiety, we often seek peace externally through success, material possessions, or relationships. However, Buddhism teaches that true peace does not lie outside of us but is found in the tranquility and serenity of our own souls. To discover this peace, we need to turn inward, listen to ourselves, and connect with our inner being through methods such as meditation, silence, and self-reflection. Peace begins from within. Buddhism emphasizes that true peace cannot be found outside of ourselves. External factors such as reputation, wealth, or relationships only provide temporary satisfaction and cannot deliver lasting peace. The Buddha teaches that when we do not know how to find peace within ourselves, we will always feel restless and anxious, as this search depends on unstable and uncontrollable factors. Peace begins with a deep understanding of ourselves. When you truly understand yourself, you will realize that happiness and peace do not come from external factors but from awareness, acceptance, and serenity within your soul. Peace is not the absence of suffering or difficulties but the ability to face these challenges with steadiness and clarity, without letting them disturb your mind. Meditation, a method to find inner peace. One of the important methods to find peace within oneself according to Buddhism is meditation. Meditation is not only a tool to quiet the mind but also a way to reconnect with ourselves. In meditation, you can focus on your breath, a mantra, or simply observe your thoughts and feelings as they come and go without interference or judgment. This practice helps reduce wandering thoughts and unnecessary anxieties, allowing you to return to yourself. Buddhism teaches that meditation does not just relieve stress, it also helps you understand the nature of your mind. When you practice meditation, you learn to recognize your thoughts and feelings without reacting to them. This helps you gain self-control and not be swept away by negative emotions or the unpleasant feelings that your mind often creates. Meditation teaches us that peace is not something to be achieved in a moment, it is a state that requires practice to maintain. It shows us how to live with our feelings and thoughts without being controlled by them. From this, you can find peace even in the most challenging moments. Silence, a space for the soul. Silence is not simply about stopping talking or ceasing activities. In Buddhism, silence is a state of mind where you can fully live in the present moment without being affected by thoughts, emotions, or desires. It is when your mind is no longer racing with worries about the future or regrets about the past. When you live in silence, you will feel peace from within. Buddhism teaches that finding peace within oneself is a long journey, and in this journey, silence plays a crucial role. You need to create a quiet space to detach from the noise of the outside world, allowing your mind to breathe and rest. Finding a quiet, undisturbed space helps you connect with the stillness in your soul and experience deep peace. Silence makes it easier for you to recognize your thoughts and feelings. When you spend time in a quiet space, you can see everything more clearly, unaffected by external influences. It is in this silence that you will find peace without any noise or distractions. Accepting yourself, finding inner peace. An important part of finding peace is accepting yourself, with all your strengths and weaknesses, mistakes, and successes. Buddhism teaches that peace cannot be achieved if you do not accept yourself as a human being with imperfections and vulnerabilities. When you can accept yourself, you will no longer feel restless or lacking. You will learn to love yourself and forgive yourself. Accepting yourself does not mean that you stop striving for improvement, rather, it means not blaming or criticizing yourself for past mistakes. When you let go of judgment and accept everything that has happened in your life, you will feel lighter and more at peace. Buddhism teaches that releasing unrealistic expectations about yourself and the world around you will help you live freely and serenely. Finding peace in every action. Another way to find peace is to practice mindfulness in every action. Buddhism teaches that peace is not a fixed state but the result of a mindful way of life. When you do something, whether it is daily work or simple tasks like eating and drinking, do it with full attention to that action. When you do everything with focus and presence, you will feel peace in every moment. The theory of mindfulness in Buddhism is not just a meditation method but a way of living. You can practice mindfulness in every situation, from driving and eating to relationships and work. Peace comes from being able to do everything calmly, consciously, and fully. Peace comes from within. Peace is not something that can be found in this world. True peace comes from learning how to connect with yourself, spending time alone, practicing meditation, living in silence, and accepting yourself. When you find peace within yourself, you will no longer be affected by changes, difficulties, or challenges in life. You will live with a pure soul, free and full of love, despite the storms outside. Step 3. Live with compassion, the path to peace and happiness. In Buddhist teachings, compassion, also known as metta, is one of the essential qualities that helps individuals overcome difficulties in life and achieve inner peace. Buddhism teaches that compassion is not only about caring for others but also about the ability to open your heart and help those around you without expecting anything in return. When you live with compassion, not only do others benefit, but you also experience a sense of lightness and peace within your soul. Compassion, the source of inner peace. Compassion in Buddhism is not merely a feeling of pity or helping others, it is a profound virtue that allows you to connect genuinely and selflessly with the world and those around you. Compassion enables you to see the suffering of others and wish to alleviate it, not for recognition or personal gain, but because you understand that such actions will bring peace to your own heart. Buddhism teaches that when you practice compassion, you not only reduce the suffering of others but also lessen your own inner turmoil. When you help others, you experience a deep satisfaction that cannot be expressed in words. Compassion lightens your soul, freeing you from negative feelings such as anger, jealousy, or sadness. Compassion in action, bringing happiness to those around you. One way to practice compassion is to help others in their times of need. However, Buddhism encourages you not just to help when asked, but to act from the heart. When you live with compassion, you will proactively bring happiness and well-being to those around you, even in small ways. Helping others is not a forced action or one intended for exploitation, it is an act that originates from unconditional compassion. Whether it's a smile, a word of encouragement, or a simple gesture, these small actions can make a significant difference in the lives of others and in your own life. Compassion also includes caring for nature and the environment. When you love and care for the creatures around you, you are also demonstrating compassion for life. Buddhism teaches that all beings have value and deserve protection, and when you practice compassion towards nature, you not only help maintain the balance of the universe but also contribute to your own peace. Compassion for yourself. Compassion is not only directed towards others, it also involves loving and caring for yourself. Buddhism teaches that to love and help others, you must first learn to love yourself. When you treat yourself well, you will be able to share that love with those around you. Being compassionate towards yourself means forgiving your mistakes and not being harsh on yourself. Sometimes we are too hard on ourselves, creating feelings of guilt, stress, and unease. Buddhism teaches that when you learn to love yourself, you reduce the self-inflicted suffering in your mind and can live a more peaceful life. Compassion for yourself also means taking care of your mental and physical health. You need to know how to rest, relax, and find joy in life. When you do this, you will be able to face life's challenges with a calm and clear mind. Compassion helps you overcome challenges. Life is not without its difficulties and challenges. However, when you live with compassion, you will be able to overcome these challenges with grace and resilience. Compassion allows you to face others with kindness and to approach life's difficulties with patience and gentleness. When facing suffering, loss, or injustice, compassion helps you avoid falling into negative emotions like hatred or anger. Instead of confronting adversity with resentment, you will recognize it with compassion, understanding that all these experiences are part of life and opportunities for growth and development. Compassion helps you maintain calmness and clarity in every situation. Moreover, when you practice compassion, you will feel a deeper connection with those around you. You not only empathize with others' pain but also learn how to help them overcome their difficulties. This brings immense satisfaction and happiness because you are not only improving the lives of others but also creating an endless circle of love. Compassion, the path to happiness. Ultimately, compassion not only helps you live peacefully but is also the key to achieving true happiness. When you live with compassion, you will no longer feel lonely or deprived, for you have found joy in helping others. Compassion allows you to live in love, understanding, and sharing, thus bringing a meaningful and happy life. Buddhism teaches that when you live with compassion, you not only make others happy but also find happiness yourself. This happiness does not stem from material possessions or accomplishments but from your ability to live compassionately and share love with those around you. Compassion is the key to overcoming all challenges, finding peace within your soul, and living a fulfilling life. When you practice compassion, you not only create positive changes in your own life but also have a beautiful impact on your community. Step 4. Letting go of attachment, freeing the soul from anxiety and desire. In life, one of the factors that causes suffering is attachment to things that cannot be changed. Buddhism teaches that this attachment is not only the desire for unattainable things but also an excessive bond with past experiences or current situations that we find hard to let go of. However, to achieve peace of mind, we need to learn to release these attachments. Buddhism does not encourage us to abandon everything but teaches us how to free ourselves from futile attachments, allowing our souls to become free and tranquil. What is attachment? Attachment is the psychological action that people create when they cannot let go of something, whether it is a memory, a relationship, a desire, or an emotion. We cling to these things because they provide us with safety, comfort, or even temporary joy. However, when attachment becomes a habit, it turns into a burden, preventing us from moving forward and keeping us stuck in the past or anxious about the future. Buddhism teaches that attachment is one of the causes of suffering. We cling to everything in life, from possessions, relationships, and jobs to the achievements we attain. We fear losing the things we hold dear, which creates anxiety and stress. Letting go is the liberation of the soul. Letting go does not mean completely abandoning or disregarding the things around us. Letting go is the liberation from the psychology of attachment and clinging. When you let go, you no longer feel the need to possess or control everything. You accept that life is always changing and that some things are beyond your control. Letting go is the realization that what belongs to you, whether it's a relationship, an object, or an experience, is only temporary. When you recognize the impermanence of everything, you no longer feel the need to hold tightly, but rather you open yourself to live in the present and embrace change. This does not mean that you do not love or care, instead, you love without becoming a slave to emotions or possessions. Buddhism and the concept of impermanence. One of the core principles of Buddhism is the concept of impermanence, anicca, meaning that everything in the universe is subject to change. From material things to emotions, nothing is eternal. Recognizing this is the first step to letting go of attachment. When you understand that everything changes and nothing lasts forever, you become less attached and can let go more easily. Buddhism teaches that all beings are influenced by the cycle of life and death, where joy and sorrow continuously change. If we cling to these transient things, we will remain trapped in suffering. By understanding impermanence, you will realize that attachment only leads you to suffer. Letting go is a journey to discover freedom. Attachment keeps you living in a state of never feeling enough. You always feel lacking, always wanting more, and always fearing the loss of what you have. This anxiety occupies your mind and prevents you from living in peace. Letting go is the way to escape this cycle. When you let go, you free your soul from the constraints of anxiety, expectations, and fears. You no longer feel you must be enough or perfect to be happy. Happiness is not something you have to achieve, it is about experiencing the present and accepting that you already have enough. How to practice letting go. 1. Awareness and acceptance. The first step in letting go is to recognize that you are attached to something. It could be a desire, a fear, or a negative emotion. Acknowledge them without judgment, and accept that they are part of the living process. 2. Meditation and listening to your inner self. Meditation is a powerful tool to free the soul from attachment. When you meditate, you can observe thoughts and emotions without reacting to them. You learn to let thoughts pass without getting attached. Meditation helps you connect with the present and recognize that everything is temporary flows. 3. Accepting change. Buddhism teaches that life is always changing, and change is unavoidable. Learn to accept that everything can change, from relationships to jobs, from health to finances. When you realize this, you will not fear losing something, as you understand that it is merely part of the flow of life. 4. Living in each moment. One way to let go is to fully live in each moment. Instead of worrying about the future or regretting the past, focus on what is happening right now. You will feel peace of mind when you stop overthinking uncontrollable matters. 5. Forgiving yourself and others. Letting go also means you must forgive yourself and those who have hurt you. Forgiveness is not easy, but when you learn to forgive, you will no longer be bound by negative emotions. Forgiveness helps you free your mind and open your heart to peace. Letting go, the path to peace and freedom. Life is full of challenges and changes, but letting go of attachment will help you feel free and at peace. Buddhism teaches that when you let go, you not only escape the grip of negative emotions but also open the door to true happiness and freedom. When you are no longer influenced by what you have or do not have, you will find tranquility within yourself, and your life will become much lighter and more serene. Step 5. Living in the present, discovering happiness in every moment. In the hustle and bustle of life, people easily get swept away by the flow of time, either worrying about the future or lamenting the past. Buddhism teaches us that happiness and peace are not things we need to seek far away, they exist right in every moment of the present. Living in the present is an art and the key to finding peace and happiness without the need for pursuit or worry. This is why Buddhism regards living in the present as an important method for maintaining inner peace. Why is living in the present important? Most of us easily fall into a state of not being present in actual moments. Our minds often wander, worrying about the future or regretting the past. However, as Buddhism teaches, happiness cannot be found in what has passed or what is to come, it can only be found here and now, in the present. When we live in the past, we merely replay emotions, pain, and regrets. Thoughts about past mistakes can make us feel uneasy or even depressed. When we live in the future, we fear the things that have not yet happened and worry about whether we can face upcoming challenges. These thoughts prevent us from enjoying the precious moments of life. Buddhism teaches that to achieve true peace and happiness, we must learn to live in the present. When we live in each moment, we are no longer caught up in endless anxieties about things we cannot control. Living in the present frees the mind from the burdens of the past and future, allowing us to experience the tranquility and peace that we can find right now. What does it mean to live in the present? Living in the present is not just about paying attention to what is happening around you, it is also about being fully focused on your feelings, thoughts, and actions in this moment. It means being completely aware of what you are doing, feeling, and thinking. This is total presence, unbothered by past worries or future anxieties. When you live in the present, you will feel every breath, every step, every word, and every emotion in your body. You will realize that instead of worrying about what might happen or what has happened, you can control yourself right in this moment. When you achieve this, you will begin to notice peace flowing into your soul. How to live in the present according to Buddhism. Buddhism has developed many methods to help us fully live in each moment. Here are some ways you can practice living in the present every day. 1. Meditation. Meditation is one of the essential methods in Buddhism to help us return to the present. Through meditation, we learn to focus on our breath and observe our thoughts without reacting to them. When we stop chasing our thoughts, we are not swept away by anxieties about the past or future but live fully in the present moment. A simple meditation exercise is to focus on your breath. Sit in a quiet space, close your eyes, and concentrate solely on your inhalation and exhalation. When your mind begins to wander, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Over time, you will find it easier to maintain your focus on the present. 2. Mindfulness. Buddhism teaches us to practice mindfulness in all actions. Mindfulness means living with awareness, completely attending to what is happening right now without letting the mind drift into unnecessary thoughts. You can practice mindfulness while eating, walking, working, or even talking to others. As long as you fully focus on your actions and feelings, you will notice peace in every moment. 3. Letting go of worry. One of the main reasons we cannot live in the present is our anxiety about the future. However, Buddhism teaches that worry does not help us. Anxiety only adds to our suffering. Instead of worrying about what has not yet happened, focus on what you can do right now to create positive change. Only by living in the present can you influence the future. 4. Acceptance and letting go. Living in the present teaches you to accept everything that happens without judgment or resistance. This means you no longer feel frustrated by the difficulties or challenges in life. Instead, you welcome them with a peaceful and open mindset. Accepting everything as it is helps you live fully in the present without worrying about whether you can change things. 5. Creating a mindful living habit. A simple way to live in the present is to cultivate a habit of mindfulness in all activities. For example, when you eat, eat slowly, savoring each bite and paying attention to the flavors and textures of the food. When you walk, focus on each step, feeling the ground beneath your feet and the comfort of movement. When you work, concentrate on the task at hand without letting your mind wander. Benefits of living in the present. Living in the present not only helps you find peace but also brings many other benefits. 1. Reduce stress. When you are not worrying about the future or the past, you will feel a lighter mind, less stress, and anxiety. 2. Increased happiness. Living in the present helps you recognize the good things happening in your life, enhancing your sense of happiness and gratitude. 3. Improved relationships. When you are fully attentive and listen to others, your relationships become deeper and more meaningful. 4. Living a meaningful life. Living in the present helps you create a purposeful life because you are no longer distracted by external factors. You live with optimism, freedom, and completeness. Living in the present is one of the essential secrets to maintaining inner peace, according to Buddhist teachings. When we are not caught up in anxieties about the past or future, we can experience life more fully and find happiness in the simplest moments. Start now by living fully in every moment of life, and you will feel profound peace in your soul. Conclusion. Amidst the storms of life, peace is not something distant. Life is filled with challenges, difficulties, and turbulent times. However, Buddhism teaches us that, regardless of the circumstances, true peace can only be found within our own hearts. When we apply the simple steps from the teachings of the Buddha to our lives, we will experience inner peace that does not depend on what happens around us. We often think that peace can only be achieved when life is favorable, when everything around us is stable and comfortable. However, Buddhism teaches that peace is not determined by our circumstances, it is a state of mind that each person can nurture. When we learn to accept reality, live with compassion, let go of worries, and fully engage in the present moment, we will find peace within ourselves, regardless of the challenges and storms life may bring. Starting today, you can apply these simple steps to cultivate a peaceful and free spirit. Each day is an opportunity for you to learn and practice the teachings of Buddhism, seeking tranquility in each moment and learning to release the psychological burdens you have carried for so long. As you practice living in the present, you will realize that happiness and peace are not far-fetched concepts. They are the simple moments in life that you can fully enjoy when you no longer get caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. Allow your soul to become light, free, and open to embrace whatever comes with a calm attitude. This peace is not something that can be achieved overnight. It requires time, patience, and continuous practice. However, if you persevere, step by step, you will notice changes in your perspective on life, a lightness in your mind, and a life filled with meaning. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Life Lessons channel to continue exploring profound lessons from Buddhism with us. We hope that the insights shared in this video will help you find peace in your soul and live a happier, more fulfilling life. Thank you for watching, and may you always find peace in every moment of your life.